Hey guys, what's up? MurderofBirds here, and welcome back to the channel. So, it has been a long 9 months, I know, but the wait is finally over. I hope you've all been well, and I hope you're excited for another year of RWBY content here on the channel. So, RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 1, The Greatest Kingdom is now available for the general public on the Rooster Teeth website, and as a result, I'm debuting a new review series for Volume 7 that I'm calling Rapid Fire Reviews. Now, before we jump into the review itself, I want to expand on the topic of reviews really quick because it's something that I'm going to be making a genuine effort in doing this year, so any feedback on this topic or the review itself would be greatly appreciated. So as most of you are probably aware, every year I try to deliver a certain level of quality as well as quantity whenever it pertains to the latest volume of RWBY. I never want to feel like a one-trick pony, and so I challenge myself to create new forms of content in the hopes that my videos are able to provide an enriching experience for my viewers. I started with low-quality, free-form reviews during Volumes 1 and 2, but since then I've expanded, debuting reaction videos with Volume 3, live stream discussions with Volume 4, TLDR reviews, which had a short success during Volume 5, and I even followed up with theories, AMVs, as well as shitposts during Volume 6. However, the most challenging form of content that I've always wanted to do on my channel has been scripted videos, more specifically, scripted chapter reviews. You see, for some reason, I've always struggled with the task of summarizing my thoughts and opinions on paper. Simply put, it's very, very crippling and very hard for me to write a script. It's like, I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to write it in a way that feels genuine or narrative or informative for an audience. It's honestly one of the reasons I don't like texting or exchanging conversations through email and prefer to talk to somebody either over the phone or in person. And I've always felt envious of those, especially in the RWBY community, who seem to excel at making content like this. Now, of course, I mean that as a sense of friendly rivalry, but the 6 people on screen here, that Kaito Dan, Xiaolong, Psylocke, Eruption Fang, Unicorn War, and Phoenix Knight, I've met half of these people at RTX. They're really good friends of mine, peers in the community, people who put out exceptional content, and these 6 are honestly my all-time favorites in terms of people who focus and cover RWBY. They're the channels that I aspire and look up to. They're the channels that I look to for guidance and in ways of how I can improve my content, and they honestly make it look really easy. I'm pretty sure it's not easy at all. But they excel in ways that I wish I was only able to, and you know, I wish them all the best. I look forward to the videos that they have to come out this year for RWBY Volume 7, and if any of you guys have not watched any of them, they do a mix of reactions, theories, analysis videos, reviews of course, and I highly recommend any of you guys to check them out. I will leave links to their channels in the description because they're going to be covering Volume 7 just like I am, and I'm definitely going to be watching everything they put out over the next couple of months. It's also why for some I've earned the nickname RWBY because it feels more natural for me to express all of my thoughts and ideas in, say, my live stream discussions, but I know not everybody has 3+ hours to spare just to hear my thoughts on a 15 to 20 minute chapter, so that's where these videos come in. Since my live stream discussions go into the nitty-gritty of each chapter at a lengthy pace while my reactions express my initial thoughts and excitement, these rapid fire reviews will be acting as a parallel to the live stream discussions, giving a more bullet point take on my thoughts, opinions, or just general statements, but in a fraction of the time. And for reassurance to any of you guys out there, I'm not going to stress over this series if the workload proves too much to bear. To be honest, I just want to create something new. I want to enjoy doing it and give it my all in the process. So if these uploads begin to fall behind or I feel like I'm biting off more than I can chew, I'd be much more satisfied knowing that I tried and failed this series than have never tried in the first place. You know, I'm one person at the end of the day, and ultimately I'm just trying to cover my bases with giving content based on different preferences for what you guys prefer enjoying. But with my life story out of the way, thank you guys so much for the support. Be sure to leave any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or overall feedback in the comment section. And without further ado, let's get started.
By this time next week, the Kingdom of Atlas will be officially closing its borders. No one in, no one out, without the Council's permission.
Security, am I right? So the chapter picks up right where Volume 6 left off, and that's because, for those of you who don't know, this chapter was originally planned to be part of Volume 6 as the 14th chapter finale until it was cut due to time constraints. However, I think this was a decent premiere despite it not being planned as one. Staring down the barrel of the strongest military power made this opening scene incredibly tense for me. From the fall of Beacon to the public's perception of Atlas to the dust embargo and the closing of borders, I'm incredibly anxious to see the state of Ironwood that would result in this much force. And I can only imagine what Ironwood's reaction will be once he's filled in on the backstory of Salem and Ozma. I mean, if Crow didn't know, I feel that level of distrust has the potential to amplify Ironwood's paranoia, making him lash out at anyone, friend or foe.
Winter. Put some distance between us and the fleet. Winter?
No offense, Weiss. I'm not sure that's a good idea anymore.
There's obviously something very wrong. If we can just talk to her, then...
I wonder if Weiss's constant mention of Winter helping her is setting up for the exact opposite to happen. I love the sibling moments of Volume 3, but being the right hand of the General could have Winter in a deadlock between aiding her sister and upholding her duty to Ironwood. Just give me more moments like this, Rooster Teeth, and I'll be happy. Shout out to the art team on the design and aesthetic of Mantle. I love it all. The busy streets, the urban buildings, the lighting, especially the neon lights. It might be a shithole place to live, but you can't deny the aesthetic beauty. So this was actually brought to my attention as I've never seen the movie before, but does Atlas and Mantle remind anyone else of the movie Alita Battle Angel? You've got Atlas as the sky city of Zalem, Mantle as Iron City, and the same tethers that link the two together. I'm not sure if this was intentional, but if so, neat reference. The amount of depth that was given to Mantle with just one chapter is astounding. You got propaganda, armed police units, Big Brother is watching you, signs of rebellion, politics, the enforcer, slave labor, racism, actual racists. Even the damn kids hate Atlas. That's when you know you fucked up. I think Mantle's the most I've ever felt immersed in a city environment throughout the show. I could feel the despair and the oppression as the characters walk through the streets, and as a result, I'm able to appreciate its depth while also despising how shitty of a place it is. It looks like the Hill is here, and Protect Mantle flyers are setting up for an election to take place between Mantle's hometown hero, which is Robin Hill, and an Atlesian tycoon, which could either be Ironwood or Jacques. It's also very likely that Robin Hill could be a reference to Robin Hood, as she's going against the rich for the sake of the needy. Was the embargo the right call? I don't know, you tell me.
The embargo's got us in a rough patch, but it'll blow over. You'll see.
Probably not. Does this part say outer wall damaged? I wonder if that's a hint that Tyrion and Watch somehow managed to break into the city. And at this point too, either someone's trying to silence the media or Tyrion is in Mantle and he's having a field day. Wait a minute. An election, a damaged wall, the closing of borders, Watts tampering with Atlas tech in the intro, make Atlas great again? I don't know if this applied to anyone else, but reading the show your teeth graffiti reminded me of Ilya, partially due to the fact that her and her parents were from Mantle, but also due to her thematic song Smile. It was confirmed that that song was a duet sung by Ilya's parents to Ilya, and what better way to smile than by showing your teeth?
I'm sorry. Don't be. I broke their teeth.
Case and point. Convention rule number 1, don't take pictures of cosplayers without their consent. Also, Winter would like to have a word with you.
You realize you just destroyed Atlas military property.
So I've noticed a few people making a fuss over this scene between Weiss and the drunk man. A racist uses hateful words and is met with physical violence. I don't know about any of you, but I saw this as nothing more than a comedic way of dealing with a negative person. I mean, did y'all forget that Nora and Pyrrha threatened to hurt a bully at their school with physical violence? Where was the outrage then?
We'll break his legs!
You know, I really will break his legs.
Now, I'm not advocating for violence here, but hateful people and racist comments sometimes do belong in the trash.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to stop referring to the trash can as a trash can? Or this lamppost as a lamppost?
I think we just discovered Volume 7's background best girl, who also has fan art already. Gotta love the RWBY community. I never thought a 2D image of the back of someone's head from 3 years ago would hype me up for the reveal of Penny, Paul, and Dina's father in my life. Extra points go to the pink bow that matches Penny's from the Beacon arc, as well as the #1 dad cup. Great set pieces for the reveal. Gamers, rise up. Pietro has a sick gamer chair and he's one of us. I just hope we have those kind of chairs by the time I'm an old man.
I know. I age like a fine wine.
Just another reason why I love Maria's sassiness in class.
I'm currently working on shoes that make you dance.
If only this show had a character who wasn't good at dancing and had more than 3 minutes of screen time in the last 4 years.
I can't dance. Beg your pardon. I can't dance, man.
I will forever stand behind the idea that Watts indirectly killed Penny due to the effects of the Black Queen virus hack from volumes 2 and 3. Now it seems like they're setting up Watts to be Salem's most threatening asset since Atlas is part of his home turf too. Very exciting. Did anyone else feel bad for Blake in this scene? Pietro was like, "You're Weiss Schnee. You're the girl Ironwood told me to make that arm for. You're my daughter's best friend, and you're just standing there."
I most certainly do. And I feel like such a dunce for not recognizing you sooner.
I guess Atlesians speak the same language.
Did you say 9 o'clock? It's 8:55, you dunce!
How is it that these Elysian Knights can take down Grim and Vale, yet fail so miserably with Grim native to their own kingdom? Those Volume 2 upgrades are really paying off now. Bonus points for new Grim. Nothing feels more like RWBY season than getting an action sequence in the first chapter of the volume. Looking at you, Volume 5. How many drunk bar fights do you think it took Crow to have the balls to punch a Grim in the face twice? Let me know in the comments down below. Crow shifting his weapon from a sword to a scythe to a spear to a gun will forever make his weapon one of my absolute favorites. Attack the enemy Grim's weak points for massive damage. All I can say to this scene is cinematography, cinematography, cinematography. Okay, serious time. It's probably no surprise to anyone watching, but I was devastated when Penny died during Volume 3. My reaction showed it, Rooster Teeth's reaction to my reaction showed it, and I even went as far as to make a tribute video in memory of her character after the fact. I loved Penny during Volume 1 and 2. She was always a delight to have on screen, and for her to die when she was probably the most innocent of them all was heartbreaking. Now, to have the same Penny return means that yes, for me, it does lessen the gravity of her death scene for Volume 3, but at the same time, I always felt like Penny was the exception to the rule of death and was the most likely to return because she was a robot. I mean, the topic of Penny 2.0 was non-stop following Volume 3, and there was even a bigger rally for those who thought that Pyrrha wasn't dead, but somehow transported to a different location after Volume 3. It was the only real way for the fandom to cope with death in the show because it was the first time that anything like that had ever happened. And as the show went on with Volumes 4, 5, and 6, the grieving process probably led most people to accept those deaths, whether it was a human or a robot. So while I'm ecstatic to have the storyline of Penny, Paul, and Dina return, I can completely empathize with those who feel like Penny shouldn't have returned, or at the very least, this Penny shouldn't have returned. And lastly, I just want to remind everybody that the event's called The Fall of Beacon, not The Fall of Penny. Just because Penny was able to return, that doesn't mean the emotions felt during her death weren't real or somehow negate everything that still transpired. Amber died, Roman died, Pyrrha died, Ozpin died, the school was destroyed, Yang lost her arm, Atlas got blamed, Salem gained a maiden, Cinder and the Wyvern were stopped, and the world has been divided ever since. Penny dying might be a silver lining now, but the scars of the past are still there and prove that those events still happened whether Penny died or not. All we can really hope for now is that Rooster Teeth has a purpose for bringing Penny back that adds to the story, whether it's to enrich Ruby's development or utilizing Penny as a vessel for the Winter Maiden's powers like what they were trying to do with Pyrrha. Only time will tell. Okay, serious time over. Nuts and Dolts shippers rejoice, your ship sails yet again.
Penny, I thought you...
Died? I guess in a manner of speaking, she did. But we were able to recover her core from Amity Arena once it had made its way back to Atlas.
The fact that they revealed how Penny was able to survive makes me worried that she's either gonna get hacked by Watts or she'll sacrifice her core to prevent Atlas Academy from falling.
That's my girl. We're not going to let a little ripping to shreds stop us, are we?
One episode in and Pietro is already a savage. I don't know whether I should laugh or cry at that question.
No, sir.
What is the meaning of this?
Theory time. I wonder if the reason Pietro's in a chair and is constantly coughing is because he has some kind of illness, and that illness transferred to his real daughter and killed her when she was a child. So in an attempt to save her, he worked with Ironwood to transfer her soul into the body of the Penny model, aka Penny is Pietro's real daughter brought back from the brink of death. Either that or they're foreshadowing that this man's gonna die.
We have so many things to catch up about. I cannot wait. It seems we will have to wait.
Funniest line of the episode.
I have absolutely no idea who that child was. Is she important somehow?
One day, it will be my job to save the world.
You could say something like that. Ren's spider senses are tingling. Ren's spider senses have failed. I think Gravity Dust has some of the most innovative world-building elements showcased throughout the series and is deserving of some praise. I mean, it's used as part of the train station's railway system. Areas like Lake Matsu are made breathtaking because of its natural properties. Maria's weapon is one of the best in the show because of its inclusion of Gravity Dust, and the way that they're used as magnet handcuffs here is well thought out. Bonus points go to Gravity Dust. A horseshoe, a four-leaf clover, and a lucky rabbit's foot. This guy must really love his lucky charms. Not that kind. It seems like Aesop's is a clever play on words referencing Aesop, the Greek storyteller credited for a collection of fables now known as Aesop's Fables, and each of the members is based on a different story. This guy's name is Clover Ebby, likely a reference to his emblem being a four-leaf clover and horseshoe, but also Ebby could be short for Ebisu, which is the Japanese god of fishermen and good luck. So, from the lucky charms, his fishing rod-like weapon, and his name, it's very likely that Clover is a reference to the Aesop fable, A Fisherman's Good Luck, which is a story focused on the rewards of patience and perseverance. It's very easy to miss here, but I appreciate the small detail of Yang's jittery knee given the stressful situation. And most importantly of all, who the hell is the guy in the back of the transport? That's not creepy at all.
Find a penny, pick it up, then all day long you'll have good luck.
Way ahead of ya.
All right, everybody, so there you have it. A lot of you guys probably know this style that I've adopted for these reviews. It was something that I felt worked in the way of how I wanted to break down and talk about the episode without rambling too much or without going off the beaten path with my thoughts and my processes and my ideas. I'm going to be putting this together, so hopefully, fingers crossed, the editing isn't too much. I'll try to do this series for as long as possible, but more than anything at this point, if you've made it this far in the video, please, please, please leave your feedback. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what I can improve on, if there's any type of changes that I can make to make it a better experience for y'all. It's not everything of my thoughts, so obviously if you guys want my more in-depth thoughts to anything that happened throughout the episode, that's where you guys can get it for the live stream discussions. These are just to give you something if you don't have 3 hours to dedicate to the live streams. And also, if you guys want me to do a breakdown analysis of the intro, let me know. At this point, I'm going to be jumping into the second episode after I finish editing this one. So ultimately, if you guys enjoyed this and you guys want me to continue it, or if you guys even want me to check out the intro and apply a video in the similar fashion, let me know in the comments. But ultimately, thank you guys so much for the support. Again, leave any feedback you have in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.